It was meant to be a short weekend escape, just 3 days at a rented lakeside cabin in the Pacific Northwest. No Wi-Fi, no work emails, just family time. James and Claire Caffrey had been planning it for weeks. A break from the routine, from the stress. They packed light, just essentials, a few bags, some board games, books, and marshmallows for their 2 kids, Milo and Sadie. On July 28, 2011, they loaded up their gray SUV, waved to their neighbors in Willow Creek, Oregon, and drove off. They never came back. When Monday came and Claire didn't return to her job as a second-grade teacher, people got worried. James missed a worksite inspection he'd committed to. The kids didn't show up to their summer camp. By Tuesday, the house was still dark. A family friend used a spare key to enter the home. What they found stopped them cold. Everything was still there. Fresh laundry, now stale, sat unfolded on the couch. The sink had 2 breakfast bowls, one half filled with cereal gone soggy. A child's drawing was taped to the fridge, Sadie's, a crayon family standing in front of a triangle-shaped cabin. And on the kitchen counter, James's keys, Claire's purse, both of their cell phones. If they had gone away, they left without the very things people take everywhere. Police began investigating. The SUV had been seen by a toll camera around 10:20 a.m. the day they left, heading southbound. But that was the last digital trace. Their credit cards weren't used. No ATM withdrawals, no cell phone pings. Even park rangers in the area hadn't recorded any vehicle entries matching their license plate. Search teams were dispatched. Helicopters, dogs, volunteers combed the woods surrounding every known rental cabin in the region. But the cabin the Caffreys had supposedly booked never existed. It was a fake listing. The email used to reserve it? A burner account with no traceable origin. Whoever set it up had vanished just like the family. Weeks turned to months. Eventually, the search was called off. And the Caffrey family became just another name in the missing persons database. A digital cold case. But not for everyone. The internet never forgot them. Forums kept the case alive. Conspiracy theories grew. Some said they were abducted, others whispered about cults or human trafficking. One theory, less popular but persistent, claimed they entered the woods and found something they weren't supposed to. That theory would come back in a terrifying way. In the summer of 2023, 12 years after the Caffreys vanished, a 16-year-old named Theo Morales was virtually exploring Oregon's back roads using Google Maps Street View. He was looking for overgrown hiking spots to explore on his bike. While dragging the yellow icon across a forgotten stretch of Route 139, he saw something strange. Off a dirt trail near Hollow's End Creek. The frame, barely visible between the dense pines, was the back end of a gray SUV. At first, he thought it was just an abandoned car. But then he zoomed in and read the plate. It matched. Dodd. It was the Caffrey family's vehicle. He posted the screenshot online, and it spread like wildfire. Redditors cross-referenced it with missing persons reports. It was real. The police were alerted, again. This time, they took it seriously. A team was sent out. The SUV was exactly where the image showed, deep in the woods, hidden behind thick brush and ivy, as if the forest had swallowed it whole. The vehicle was dusty but intact, all doors locked, no broken glass, no signs of a crash. Inside, everything was preserved by time. 2 half-empty juice boxes, a dusty coloring book, Claire's sweater draped over the passenger seat, and in the glove box, an old disposable camera and a black leather journal. The film was still usable. When developed, the photos revealed a family smiling in front of a trail marker labeled Hollow's End. The kids posing beside a peculiar tree with a spiral carved into the bark. Claire holding what looked like a map, but not of the cabin. A hand-drawn sketch of trails that didn't appear on any modern maps. The final photo was of James, taken by someone else. He looked uneasy. Over his shoulder in the distance, barely visible, was what looked like a figure in the trees. The black journal, written by Claire, was filled with short entries, some mundane, some chilling. The map doesn't match the path. We've circled back twice, but nothing looks familiar. Milo says the trees are moving. He's scared. Last night, we saw lights between the trees, floating, moving, pulsing. James said not to follow them. He says this place is wrong. The last entry simply read, We're going to try one last trail. If someone finds this, don't follow the lights. No remains, no campsite, no footprints, just forest. Locals weighed in, and that's when the folklore came out. Several older residents remembered stories of Hollow's End Trail, an old route decommissioned after a string of disappearances in the late 80s and early 90s. Back then, they said people would enter that part of the forest, and not all of them came out. One hiker returned days later, barefoot, mumbling about whispers and lights. He never explained what happened. He died 2 years later in a psychiatric hospital. Still, no one could explain how the car got there without being seen, or why the area didn't show up in previous satellite images. That's when things got weirder. A few days after the discovery hit the news, the entire stretch of forest on Street View was blurred. No warning, no note. Just gone. Try to view it now, and Google skips right over it. And then, in early October, a private YouTube channel uploaded a video titled, Cabin in the Wrong Woods. It was only 11 seconds long. No title card, no intro. Just camcorder footage of 4 people, 2 adults, 2 kids, walking through the trees. There was no dialogue, but in the final frame, a faint voice whispered, "It's brighter this way." The video disappeared within 24 hours. The account was deleted, but not before it was downloaded by a few viewers. Internet sleuths traced the upload location to a public terminal in Coos Bay, Oregon, but there were no security cameras working that day. Just like that, the trail went cold again. The Caffrey home in Willow Creek still sits vacant. A for sale sign has been posted for over a decade. No buyers ever follow through. Neighbors say they still hear a child's voice late at night, laughing in the backyard. One person even claimed to see Claire standing at the upstairs window. But the power's been shut off for years, and every October, without fail, a fresh drawing appears on the front porch. Crayons, a triangle cabin, a forest, and 4 stick figures. No one sees who leaves them. They're always gone by sunrise. What really happened to the Caffrey family? Was it an abduction? A mass delusion? Or did they step into something deeper? Something older than our maps? Older than our understanding? Some places you go to get away from it all. And if you ever find yourself on an old trail that isn't marked anymore, and you start seeing lights flickering between the trees, whatever you do, don't follow them.